also have with us His Holiness B.B. Govind Swami Maharaj. And Maharaj will be leading the Kirtan at 8 p.m. today. The last and final Arati for today, 8 p.m. Maharaj will be there. So without further ado, we'd like to get going with today's program. Many of you might know Vaisheshika Prabhu, who will give a brief introduction before we pass it over to him. Prabhu and Mother Nirkula, they're based out in Silicon Valley. They are the inspiration and the leaders behind a thriving community at Iskcon of Silicon Valley. They built a wonderful community based on the teachings of Srila Prabhupada books, sharing them, distributing them. That's been their model for having such a wonderful community. Prabhu is a modern-day monk, an author, a teacher, and a guide for many of us around the world. He extensively travels around the US, Canada, India, Japan, and many other cities and countries around. And Prabhu has been visiting Toronto for almost 2 decades now, inspiring many communities within the GTA in taking up the mission of distributing and spreading Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. So we're very honored and grateful that he's here with us. Can we give a big round of applause to welcome His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu and Mother Nirkula. Hare Krishna. We'll now garland Prabhu and Mother Nirkula as well. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
May I please have a Srimad Bhagavatam here? If I can borrow one, I'll buy it if I have to. Any canto. I just feel a little better if I have a Bhagavatam with me. I'm not a sadhu, but I've seen sadhus. They always keep Tulsi or Bhagavatam nearby. And this is one of the great secrets of life, is to stay close to the light. Tamasima Jyotirga. The Vedas say, don't stay in darkness. Grow towards the light. And this human life is an opportunity from a budding stage to the flowering stage. All living entities are sacred. Whatever form they appear in this world, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Vidyamenaya Sambhane Brahmane Gabihastani Shri Chaiva Shvapakeja Pandita Savadarshina. The most advanced of sages, human beings who are enlightened, see all others equally, as they see within the body of a plant, of an animal, human, of whatever race, or whatever species, sacred essence resides. And along with that sacred essence, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridaya Sharadana Tishtati Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantra Rudra Vimaya. The Supreme travels with us wherever we go, giving us intelligence and guiding us from within. When we're in the plant species, we're known as covered. When we come to the animal species, by evolution of consciousness, Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita, Yang yang va vismaran bhavam tajatyante kudevanam tam evaitikanteya sudata bhavavamita. As we live our life, we develop a certain kind of consciousness by our association, by our habits. And when we leave the present body that we're in, according to what we're most fixated on, according to the aggregate of our desires, we desire most, material nature accommodates and gives us a particular body. Shariram yalavatmoti yaschat yupravatishvara vihikvaitani samyanti vayur gardam ilashaya. Krishna compares it to the wind crossing over a field. When it contacts lilacs, it smells like lilacs. When it contacts something composting, it smells like composting matter. Our consciousness varies according to our association. When we leave this present body, according to the consciousness we've developed throughout this lifetime, we attain the next body. Shotro chakshus parsanam sha rasanam dvana nevacha adhishtaya manaschaya vishaya upasayate. We get a particular set of senses, sense of smell, sight, hearing, taste, touch, all accommodated precisely according to our consciousness. It's an accommodation. When we come to animal consciousness, it's restricted consciousness, not covered. Animals express emotion. They feel when they're hurt or injured or when they lose a loved one. But then the Shastra, the ancient scriptures say when we come to the human form of life, we're in budding consciousness. It means we have full potential to realize the highest consciousness. But it requires what's called sadhana, spiritual practice, daily cultivation, the rising above our former habits caused by randomness in this world, going from one stream to the next, one situation to the next, haphazardly. No, we move carefully, understanding how delicate our consciousness is, very deliberately remembering the supreme object of meditation, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, spiritual practice is very simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. Because there's only one thing. Manmana bhakti. Simply think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Organize your daily life around remembering Him. Make some sacrifice towards the Supreme. Make relationships with those who are engaged in remembering the Supreme. Hear about Krishna. And that way, when you leave the body, you can attain the highest perfection. Ante Narayana Smriti, says Shukadeva Goswami, when asked by Parikshit Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the ultimate goal of life, he asked, did Parikshit Maharaj, the king who had been cursed to die within 7 days. How shall I use the last 7 days of my life, he wanted to know. People have many opinions. When this self-effulgent Acharya Shukadev came into the assembly of others, they all stood up and respected him, gave him a seat of esteem. And Parikshit Maharaj asked this question, how shall I prepare myself for that last moment? And the answer came, Ante Narayana Smriti. So all of us here are in the same boat. We're all together on this planet for a short amount of time, and we all have an opportunity, which is beyond any other opportunity. The Srimad Bhagavatam says that it's very, very rare to get a human form of life. Labham sudula pramidam bahusam bhavanti. Manushya martanam anityam atihatira. And all that's temporary, just like a tree is temporary, comes and goes. Some trees live for a few years, some trees live for 2,000 years. That's insignificant in geological time, but to speak of cosmic time. Human beings live for around 77 years, and if you're a woman and you don't smoke, maybe 85. So we have a great opportunity. And it's only in remembering that opportunity that we'll feel joyful in life, because the cause of constant anxiety for every human being is not being on the path to enlightenment. Although the path to enlightenment also thorns, still, deep inside, we feel that it's right. When we try to avoid our ultimate duty in life, we feel cognitive dissonance at every moment, even while we're sleeping. This is why Krishna gave us the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Swadamo Bhagate Dharmaganadibi Saha Kalo Nashna Shamesha Purar Narabhutanodita. Just after Lord Krishna, who appeared on this planet 5,000 years ago, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the literature, which is from the spiritual world, it's a transcendental vibration. Doesn't come from this creation. It's not from the radio. It's from the singing in the spiritual world. Beyond all the layers of the material world, there's a viraja, or dividing point, between this world and the divine realm. And in that divine realm, there's transcendental vibration. Singing, music, that's where all music comes from. The raga, the sound that evokes love for God within the heart. And that's encompassed in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Every verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam is transformative, and anyone who hears the song of the Srimad Bhagavatam ascends to the spiritual world. So now we're going to sing, if you'd like, together, a song about the soul. It's about us. If you were to write your autobiography, what would you write about? And I'm not talking about this life. I'm talking about every life you've ever had. For your homework assignment tonight, please start an autobiography to tell about every life you've ever had in this material world. Can you do it? Maybe. If you sit down and think very deeply, where have I been, where have I come from? This is called the autobiography of the soul. And this next song is about opportunity. It's about the soul's crying out when in the womb of the mother. And according to Srimad Bhagavatam, when we come into the human mother's womb, we come to a sense of clarity, and we remember that I've passed through so many lifetimes. I've been in millions and millions of wombs. And now please let me take advantage of this next life. And here's how the song goes. Jeev jago, Jeev jago, Gaura Chandra. This song is written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the great saint or acharya of the Gaudiya line of teachers coming from Lord Chaitanya. And this line is an admonition. Jeev Jago means, please wake up. How long will you remain sleeping in the lap of illusion? Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandra. Jamaya Isakshira How long will you asleep there? He's asking. Uttanindra Jao Maya Ishachira Kole. Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Ora Chanda Hore. Told by all the other literatures in the Vedas to be the perfect literature for the human being. It was come to the decision that this material world is no longer my home. The idea of staying here another lifetime is not tenable. And it takes us through our own journey, through many species of life, through all the experiences that we have in this world. It reminds us, dear soul, what you really want is the free light of the spiritual world. Don't stay in darkness. Gajendra the elephant, in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, was the king of all the animals. But one day he was captured in a lake by a crocodile who held fast to his leg. Gajendra thought, I'm the strongest one on the earth. I'll shake him off. But after 100 years of struggle, he couldn't. There was that point in time when he realized, this is it. And every one of us will have that moment. Srimad Bhagavatam says, prepare yourself now. When that time comes, you'll feel the great relief my life for the highest purpose. And Gajendra in his last life had practiced chanting prayers to the Supreme Personality of God. Quite accidentally, took birth as an elephant, but he remembered his prayers in the next life that was delivered. And in the purport of that section of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada writes, therefore, while we're healthy, while we're aware, when we're in the right state of mind, we should do one thing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. You guys sound fantastic. So, this book is the literary incarnation of Krishna, and one might wonder if such a statement, how paper and ink can be something spiritual. It's a good question. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that there are higher and lower energies. The lower energies are earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Then he says, besides these, there's the higher energy. And that higher energy is you and you and you and you. Every one of us. It's the consciousness within the body, which is categorically different from from the material elements. The Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the premise that it will distinguish reality from illusion for the welfare of all. And that's very helpful because when we give our energy for a cause that will not persist, that will leave us wanting, and we feel dissatisfied. But if we make a spiritual investment and we give ourselves to the practice of Krishna consciousness, which begins with hearing the sound that comes from the spiritual world, then we'll feel for ourselves that we're being uplifted. The Srimad Bhagavatam says, Bhakti Parishan Bhava Virakti Anyata Traisha Trika Ekaka Padyamanasi Dashnata Tushti Pushti Shriva Manasa. It compares the practice of bhakti to be like eating food. When you eat food, you feel nourished, satisfied, and with every morsel that you eat, your hunger goes away. And when you hear spiritual sound, which is beyond illusion, which is beyond the lower energies, it doesn't pertain to anything in this world that comes from the spiritual world, then you naturally awaken a sense of love in your heart for Krishna. Secondly, you see Krishna directly through that sound. Because the sound in the spiritual world is exactly the same as the person. As the Srimad Bhagavatam begins, Apana samsutin goram yadnam vedashokri tata sadya vimucheta yapi bheti swayam vayam. For those who are entangled in samsara, birth and death, and they want to be free, they need only say the name of the Supreme, from the Supreme Godhead, the Supreme Abode, and they'll have direct contact. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is that sound vibration which, when heard, gives us direct contact with the spiritual world. And when we do that, the material world looks quite interesting because we have a higher taste. It's practically impossible to give up annoying or unwanted habits. Have you ever had the experience of having a habit that you wish you didn't have? Please say yes or I'll feel that you did it alone. Yes. Did you ever have the experience of listening to 250,000 YouTubes that tell you how to get free from that habit? And it turns out what you're listening to is the very habit you're trying to get rid of. Well, the Srimad Bhagavatam says you're not taking the right medicine. It's described in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto as Vava Ashauri. It's a medicinal cure for all bad habits. Whatever binds us to this world that makes us feel foolish, that makes us embarrassed, we wish to be free, to actually be dignified, to rise above the base qualities of this world. How would we do it? Well, Srimad Bhagavatam says, by sound vibration. So this is the ultimate sound vibration, and writing is speech abstracted. So that very sound, that comes from the spiritual world, is recorded in the Srimad Bhagavatam. You only need to reconstitute. That's what's so nice about being a human being. You read a book. If you open it up and you look in, you can be transported anywhere, even in this world. One time when I was living in Bangalore, India, I decided to read this book called Freedom at Midnight. It was about the partition days between Pakistan and India. I got so absorbed in reading that book, I was in a room and it was getting dark outside. And I thought, I'd really like to go to India. And I looked out the window and said, I am in India. And I thought, we can go anywhere
In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yanti Deva Prata Deva Pitra Yanti Pratir Prata Bhutani Yanti Teja Yanti Mam Yajano. Yanti Mams, you can go, you can go, you can go. If you want to go to the Defra Mall, you can go there. Just meditate on it, put on your GPS, and you go to the Defra Mall. If you want to go to Eglinton Road, you just put it in, you can go to Eglinton. But he says if you want to go to other planets in this world, you can go there. You're a free soul. Only how you direct your mind. When your mind is fixed in one place, it goes there. Besides the book being like a boat that can take us anywhere, it can take us back to the spiritual world, if the topic is the spiritual world. And that's what Srimad Bhagavatam claims to be. Now one may say, well, that sounds fantastical. How can anybody know about the spiritual world? How do I know it's about the spiritual world? The Srimad Bhagavatam that says, just test it for yourself and feel it directly. And that's why I brought up the example of eating food. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam says, when you eat food, you know that you're getting full. Correct? You also feel satisfied with every morsel that you eat. And you also feel nourished. Because whereas before you felt weak, now you feel strong. So the Srimad Bhagavatam says, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janiyat Dashavaya Jnana Chayata Hetu. Then when you hear from this book directly, on a regular basis, you'll gain a higher perspective on life, so much so that you'll see your former self in an objective way. That, oh, that was myself involved in a lower energy. But now that I'm hearing from the spiritual realm, I'm more interested in that realm, and I'm starting to move there. And I feel so satisfied, I don't want anything else. And you may be sitting in your room and think, I'd like to go to the spiritual world. As you're reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, you've been there all day, you can't stop reading. One story after another, such fascinating philosophy. And then all of a sudden, you look out the window and you go, I am in the spiritual world. That will happen, says the Srimad Bhagavatam as you continue reading. You go to sleep in this world, wake up in the spiritual world. How else would you transport yourself there? And that is why the founder of this movement would not come to the Western world without the Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, he said, I did not bring the Srimad Bhagavatam to this world of the West. The Srimad Bhagavatam brought me. He spent years in Sri Vrindavan working on the Bhagavad. He finished the first canto in 3 volumes, had them printed, did it all himself, had trunks full of books, no other asset, no spending money, no credit card, no cash app, no Square, no tap, whatever you have here. He didn't have any of that. But he got on the boat with the Srimad Bhagavatam, he brought it to America, and on the way here, he wrote in his diary, this book will revolutionize the world. And that's exactly what it's meant to do, starting with each person who reads it every day. So we're in a campaign we started several years ago called Bhadra Purnima. We discovered in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, the 12th canto, a statement that says that if you're very good-hearted and you want to do the best thing you can for someone else, tell them about Srimad Bhagavatam. Even better yet, give them a Srimad Bhagavatam. Bring it to their wedding. What'd you get me, a toaster? No, you got your Srimad books. You go to a wedding, go to a funeral, you go to a birthday. It's always appropriate. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam is for the soul. Therefore, it's appropriate for every living being and not just human beings. So our campaign is a continuance of what my spiritual master, His Divine Grace Iskcon Prabhu started all those years ago when he came to America and brought the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he continued from 1965 to 1977 without sleep. Every night he'd wake up at midnight and he'd begin translating. He made it all the way to the 10th canto, 13th chapter. And he had his very qualified disciples who he trained personally finish the Srimad Bhagavatam in 12 cantos. So now we have it translated in many different languages around the world. Yesterday we distributed the Srimad Bhagavatam in Bengali. We realized the Bhagavad Gita, but we have the Srimad Bhagavatam in Bangla. We have it in Chinese. Anybody here speak Mandarin? No. Japanese, French, German, Russian, 38 different languages, and we're distributing all over the world. So, the Bhagavatam itself recommends that start your transformation by keeping the Srimad Bhagavatam in a special place. And every day, open it somewhere and read at least one verse. This is called Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. It's the beginning of all spiritual transformation for anyone to hear one verse a day from the Srimad Bhagavatam. My name is Vaisheshika. I come from California, born in a little suburb, Lafayette Valley Estates, near San Francisco, sitting minding my own business in my room one day, and my friend brought me a magazine called Bhaktivedanta. And in it there was an advertisement for the Bhagavad Gita as it is, the Sri Upanishad. And I went to the bookstore in 1973, and purchased those books. And then I discovered the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's become a lifetime endeavor to read this book, absorb in it. And I'm not just saying this, we actually do this every single day. And this month, we're taking a group to Vrindavan, India. And you can all come if you like, we have plenty of space. And we stay in one place during Kartik for 1 month. And all we do all day long is hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. You think, is that all you're going to do? Why don't you stop over at Euro Disney on your way? Or maybe go to Orlando, Florida to see the mouse. Well, I can attest to the fact that I've seen people in Orlando, Florida, because we were just there recently for a Kirtan festival. And they were coming from seeing the mouse. And nobody was happy, and everybody was broke. And I can attest to the fact that those who come and sit and hear Srimad Bhagavatam for 1 hour, or 5 hours a day, for a month, they all say the same thing when they walk away. They say, that was life-changing. I'll never be the same. I'll never see the world the same. I'll never see myself the same. But that can be done anywhere. If you live in Scarborough, where is Scarborough? Scarborough, let's hear from Scarborough. If you live in Scarborough, you find a place you can sit down and read Srimad Bhagavatam and transfer yourself. If you live in Brampton, yes, one? Oh, be proud, put your hand up, Brampton. If you live in Milton, can you read Srimad Bhagavatam in Milton?
Yes.
Give a shout out to your town. Where are you from? North York. How about North York? Can you read Srimad Bhagavatam in North York? Yes, you can. 2 more. What? Yes. North York again. Mississauga. Yes. You're qualified. You can read Srimad Bhagavatam in Mississauga. So this is our mission. This is the station. We load up everybody with the Srimad Bhagavatam. We take it to your car, we take it to your house, and then we'll call you at 4 a.m. in the morning and say, did you read your Srimad Bhagavatam? Just kidding, we won't bug you. Bhagavatam's here please take it. I'll personally carry it to your car. If you take the Srimad Bhagavatam tonight, I'll carry it on my head.
Yeah.
We've come to the end of our time, and if I'm not incorrect, I usually am. And we have an announcement from Shamahini. And thank you everyone for your kind attention. I'm deeply touched.
Hare Krishna. So as we heard, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of the Lord. It is what Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of our movement, brought to America. Rather, he said that the Srimad Bhagavatam was coming to America and he was coming along. He wrote this to re-spiritualize the whole world, starting with ourselves. The opportunity is here for us today, like never before. We're in the month of Bhadra Purnima, which is the full moon day in the month of Bhadra, is just 2 weeks away. So 2 Sundays from now. It is in the Bhagavatam there is a benediction that anyone who gives a set of Srimad Bhagavatam on the day of Bhadra Purnima is guaranteed a ticket to the spiritual world. You get to go to Goloka, where there is no fear, no worry, no heartbreak. Every step is a dance and every word is a song. This ticket can be yours today, and not only will you benefit yourself, you will benefit somebody else who you give this gift to. So if you already have a Srimad Bhagavatam set, please consider giving it to somebody as a gift. If you've gifted everybody in your family, please donate for somebody else who you may not know but really needs a Bhagavatam. We have several programs around the world that support sharing the spiritual knowledge with those who may not have the means to take it. There's Srimad Bhagavatam sets being sent to villages in India to preserve and enhance the Vedic culture. Also in Latin America and many other countries where people are very, very much in need to read these scriptures but cannot afford it. Your gift will make a difference to somebody else's life and will transform your life by opening the gateway to the spiritual world. So please come forward today. The Srimad Bhagavatam set, if you would like, is available for $350 only. And there is that benediction that you have, and if I can please request a special prayer, that if anybody pledges to distribute a Srimad Bhagavatam set today, we're going to take their names and maybe request Mother Nirakula and Vaisheshika Prabhu to take those names with you to Vrindavan and offer a special prayer for those devotees who today, if you pledge that you will distribute a Srimad Bhagavatam set to somebody else, they have very kindly accepted that they will take the names on your behalf and offer a special prayer in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So time is really limited, dear devotees, and please grab the opportunity before you lose it. If you would like to donate a set for the Gram Vidya Dan project, it's only for $250 and you get a tax receipt for it as well. So there's only benefits, nothing to lose. Once again, this is the Bhadra Purnima campaign. Our goal in Toronto is to distribute at least 400 sets. And we need all of you and many, many more people so that we can keep increasing always. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you to Shamoni Mataji. If any of you would like to know more about the Bhadra campaign, please do feel free to speak to Mataji or come by the front desk. We do have devotees eager to speak about Srimad Bhagavatam. But before that, can we give a big round of applause for Vaisheshika Prabhu and Mother Nirakula for being here with us on a Sunday evening. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for visiting Toronto every year, and we hope you continue to inspire everyone around the world and in Toronto by your presence. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. And Prabhu's